Aloha, y'all. We got some advice from Master Yoda. He says you must unlearn what you have learned. So, what did we learn? We learned as children that the Earth is a globe, and we never really questioned it. Well, then the internet came about, and some interesting information rose to the surface. So, here we have Gleason's New Standard Map of the World, but it's not really new. November 15th, 1892, maybe 1802. It's pretty old. And so, why weren't we ever told this information? To me, it's very interesting. So, this map here looks like a globe, but just flattened out like a pancake. And so what we see here, it's familiar. We got North America right here. We got South America. We got Africa. We got Europe, Asia, Australia. But let's count that out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But how many continents are there? We're told there are 7 continents. Well, where's the 7th one? It's right here. This entire thing on the outside, this Antarctic ice wall. That's what they call it, the Antarctic ice wall. That is the supposed 7th continent. But that's not how we're told. We're told it's the South Pole. We're told there's a North Pole and we're told there's a South Pole. But that's not really how it works. So if you take a compass, the compass always points north. Right here towards the middle of the map. A compass never points any other direction. It only points right here in the middle to the North Pole. There is no South Pole on this map. If you go south in any direction, you're going to go out. I mean, look at the word south. South. It has the word out in it. South is out. Out towards the ice wall. North goes towards the middle right here. Okay? So, how do east and west work? So, if you want to go west, you go this way around the earth. All right, that is west. You go in a circle. You start here in California, you go in a circle, you're going to make it right back to California right there if you go west. Then, if you want to go east, let's start from New York City. You go in a full circle. You make it right back to New York City. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's move on. So, you got a little infograph here. This is how the sun and the moon rotate on this stationary Earth. And you can see the sun and the moon aren't nearly as big as we are told they are. And yeah, very fascinating stuff. And so how exactly do the seasons work? So essentially on this little infograph right here, the orange is the equator, the red would be the Tropic of Capricorn, and the yellow would be the Tropic of Cancer. So the spring equinox on March 21st and the fall equinox on September 21st, that is when the sun is on the equator, the orange line. December 21st, the middle of winter, that is when the sun is on the red line, the Tropic of Capricorn. And the summer solstice, June 21st, that is when the sun is on the yellow line, the Tropic of Cancer. And so here's another graph, if that makes more sense. The color's a little bit different. In this one, the yellow is the Tropic of Capricorn, the red is the equator, and the orange here is the Tropic of Cancer. And you can see this little infograph right here. It says the sun circles above the Tropic of Capricorn. The sun circles above the Tropic of Capricorn, which would be this yellow line here, from December 21st to January 22nd. Then it begins to spiral inwards towards the red line, the equator. So on December 21st to January 22nd, the sun is on this yellow line here. And then it begins to spiral, rotate inwards until it is back onto the equator here on the spring equinox, March 21st. And it begins to spiral inwards even more. Think of like a corkscrew. The sun is going outwards and then it's going inwards as well. It's constantly going out and then it's going back in as well. That's what's going on here. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So we'll continue explaining. And so we're at March 21st right here. And the sun is continually spiraling inwards until it gets to this orange line here, the Tropic of Cancer, which is June 21st to July 22nd. Well, June 21st to July 22nd. The sun is right here on this orange line, and that is peak summer. And then the sun begins to spiral outwards back towards the equator on the fall equinox on September 21st. And then it spirals outward even more till it gets back to the Tropic of Capricorn on December 21st. Right here, the winter solstice. And you can see Australia right here. Look at that. The sun is on the Tropic of Capricorn right over Australia there. And that is why it is summertime for Australia right here, but it's winter for us over here in the supposed northern hemisphere. It's because the sun is farther away from us. The sun is directly above Australia, and here's North America. Actually, North America is right there. But you can see in wintertime, the sun is over here, Tropic of Capricorn, and it's too far away. That's why we get all the snow over here. But then in the summer, the sun is right here on the Tropic of Cancer. So United States, up here, Russia, Europe, we all get summertime. But South Africa, South America, Australia, they get winter. Does that make sense? So when the sun is on the orange line, this is summertime for North America, Europe, Asia. Spring and fall is when the sun is on the equator. And then winter is when the sun is on the Tropic of Capricorn. But it's really summertime for Australia, South Africa, and South America. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you're sticking with me on this presentation. And so a lot of people, they'll say it's like a dome. The Bible says God placed a firmament in the heavens to separate the waters above from the waters below. And so this is the firmament right here. And so you got the waters below, which is the ocean here, and the waters above. And due to our perspective, it looks like a dome. So you can see here, it looks like a dome, but that, as far as I know, that's not what's really going on. I don't really, I'm open to any interpretation, but I don't really think we live in a dome. I just think it's due to perspective that when we look at the night sky, it looks like a dome because we can't see all the stars. All the stars are right here. You see this actual stars up here? All the actual stars are up here, but due to the vanishing point, essentially, like, imagine like when someone is walking down the hallway or you're looking at railroad tracks, and if you look at it, eventually they merge into each other and it looks like they disappear, but they don't really disappear. It's just the vanishing point because our eyesight is limited. We can only see so much with our eyesight. And so hopefully this is making sense. Hopefully you're sticking with me, but we can see that the sun and the moon, they're inside here, and they're spinning around. So it would go east, right? No, east is this way. So east, that's what they do. They go east to west, right? Sorry, I'm sort of confusing myself on this right now. No, it goes the other way. This way. This is how they rotate. The sun starts in the east, and it goes towards the west. Because, it's sunshine first in New York City, and then eventually it hits California over here. So they're going this way. They're going this way around. Again, thank you all for your patience. I just got this Apple Pencil Pro today. And so, yeah, I know there's a lot of information, but I find this stuff fascinating. And again, you can see down here, it shows the Tropic of Cancer, shows the equator, shows the Tropic of Capricorn right there. And so here's a bird's eye view of the constellations. Now, unfortunately, this is not all the constellations. I couldn't find an image of just all the constellations in a circle. We do have the zodiac right here, and the zodiac does a great depiction of like what's probably really going on. And so we got the sun. The sun will start. So what is it right now? It's March. So we would be in Aries. Where are you, Aries? Aries right here. Okay, that's why it's not English. This is Aries. Up here, where is Aries? This one's a little bit harder to read, so that's why I got the other one. So I think this is Aries right here. Yeah, Aries is right there. But just imagine. So we got these stars right here. The point I'm trying to make is you got these stars right here. Imagine a bird's eye view. You're looking down. It looks like this because you got this map. This map here. You're looking down, a bird's eye view. You're looking down. Now imagine placing these stars right here. These stars. Place them on top of this, like a disc on top of a disc, like a CD on top of a CD, a plate on top of a plate. You see this? Like this is like a plate. This is like a plate up here. And imagine putting this plate, these plate of stars, constellations, all this on top of that stationary Earth. So you see that map right here, this one we started with? Now just put all these constellations right there. Because I had a video on TikTok. It got a lot of views, got kind of popular. And a lot of people, they said, well, what about Orion? Because you can see Orion in the winter months. So we got Orion right here. You can see Orion in the winter months, but you can't see it in the summer. So here we are again, Aries right here. That means the sun. We'll do a little sunshine thing. Beautiful little sun right there. So there's the sun in Aries. And then as we go into April, the sun will then be right here on Taurus. And then it'll go to Gemini. And so this is where the sun is hanging out. Then Cancer right there. Then Leo. And so Orion is still there. Orion's belt is still there. It doesn't change. These constellations, these fixed stars, they never change. But the sun is going around. It is going into these zodiac signs. There's Virgo right there. And so during the daytime, we can't see Orion here because the sun is here during the daytime. It's not possible to see the stars during the daytime, but Orion is still there. It's just being blocked out by the sunlight. But if we were to have a total solar eclipse, so we'll do black for this one, block it out, we would be able to see the night sky. So if we had a total solar eclipse in the middle of the day, in the middle of summer, we would be able to see Orion's belt. It is right there. We just can't see it during the daytime because the sun is out. And then as the sun goes over here into wintertime, we can see Orion's belt because the sun during daytime, it is over here. Does that make sense? So that's why we'd be able to see Orion's belt in the winter because the sun is in these constellations on this side of the chart. And then in the summertime, the sun is over here. And so it's not possible to see Orion. But again, if we had a total solar eclipse, we should be able to see Orion's belt. It's always there. These constellations don't change. They're always there in the night sky. And so I got a quote from Mark Twain. I have never let my schooling interfere with my education. And it's just a nice mirror, a nice reflection to what Yoda said right here. You must unlearn what you have learned. And what did we learn? We learned the globe. I mean, here's a whole new system. To me, this made perfect sense. I didn't really care for astrology or anything. I mean, this system of like how the seasons work, I was like, that made sense to me. And I mean, it was the first time. I mean, this is what got me into the Bible. I mean, the Bible talks about the firmament and how this firmament separates the waters above from the waters below, which are the ocean. The ocean is blue, made of water. Look at the sky, it's blue. And maybe it's made of water, and there's a glass ceiling called the firmament, kind of like the Truman Show, keeping those waters out. And then you think of the flood story with Noah's Ark. And how did that much water flood the earth? Well, maybe there was an opening right here. An opening in the firmament. The floodgates. I mean, it even says right here, look, it says floodgates right there. The floodgates. Noah's Ark. And so I was an atheist. But when I started to learn this information and I started to recognize all this, I was like, this is divine. I mean, this is perfect. I mean, this is not an accident. I mean, these stars, these planets, the sun, the moon. I mean, and a lot of people they're like, oh, this is some like new age, like all this astrology stuff, like it's all nonsense. But I'm just saying, like right now, I'm in my car right now and the sun is beating down and I'm sweating up a storm. It's like a sauna in my car, y'all. I'm just saying, the sun is an astrological body and I can feel the sun. And the moon on a full moon, they say on the full moon, the highest amount of crime is on a full moon. And the word lunatic literally comes from luna. Luna in Espanol is moon. The lunatic is, they're saying like people go crazy on the full moon. So there's evidence that, I mean, in women, they call it their moon cycle and all that. What I'm saying is we can feel the effects of the moon and the sun. And these are just more subtle. These constellations, these zodiac signs are just more subtle. The planets are more subtle. But I would say it's naive to think that we don't feel the effects, because the sun and the moon are astrological bodies, celestial bodies in the sky. And so are the planets, and so are these constellations. The constellations and planets are just, they're not as large, they're not as close to us. But I would say we feel their effects more subtly. And so I think it's naive to kind of dismiss all this. I mean, this is a science, and this has been going on for thousands of years. These constellations have never changed since the beginning of time. As far as I know, since the beginning of time, these constellations have been the same. And so this information is important. I mean, there's a quote where it says the most amount of evidence for God to be found in nature is in the stars, but it's the least amount that people pay attention to. I mean, why don't they teach us this in school? I mean, why are they telling us the globe model? Why doesn't anyone know about the zodiac signs? I mean, we're not really taught this information. So we got to take Mark Twain's advice here and say, I've never let the schooling interfere with our education. So I make these videos for educational purposes, but ultimately to bring you back to the Creator, to bring you back to God. And I mean, this did it for me. When I realized I was like, I might be living in one of these things, I'm like, yeah, obviously there's a Creator who created this thing, and that we are the center of the universe, which means you're a divine child of God. You're special. They want to tell us with evolution that you're meaningless, that you're soulless, that your ancestors are a bunch of fish monkeys, but it's just a bunch of nonsense, y'all. You are the center of the universe. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing selfish about that. It's just the truth. You're a divine child of God. God has us in this beautiful, magical realm, and God wants to know you. God wants to be in relationship with you. So hopefully you found this video inspirational, and I hope you start your relationship with God. May God bless all y'all. Namaste.